Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we begin another edition of Scarlet Hawks varsity girls soccer for you this afternoon. And today Milford welcomes in a very tough opponent from the Kelly Rex division in the King Philip Warriors. Just getting underway with first half action here on Milford TV, right now coming to you live via our streaming platforms, in particular at YouTube on our YouTube page, which can be found at youtube.com/mymilfordtv. We're also right now happy to be bringing you this coverage live on our channels as well for all of our local Milford viewers. Airing live right now on our educational channel as well as Verizon HD 2140. So happy to have you all with us for this coverage today. As Milford takes on King Philip, Milford comes into action this afternoon, currently in 6th place in the Kelly Rex standings, and an early opportunity here that's going to slip through. A very easy shot and an easy score right out of the gates for the King Philip Warriors. They lead this Kelly Rex division and immediately jump on the scoreboard. That appeared to be number 15, Michaela Thompson, with that goal. A centering shot, and that one just snuck underneath the reach of Chloe Murdoch. Certainly a ball she'd like to have back. That was a save that could have been made there. And so just 57 seconds into this first half, Milford already finds themselves behind. The scores have not been kind to Milford in these matchups with King Philip over the years. We'll delve into some more of that as this game goes on. But already right now trailing just over a minute into this first half action. The last time we covered the girls team was a couple of weeks ago in a non-conference matchup against Hopedale High School, a game that Milford was able to win by a final score of 2-1. They have not won a match since, so they come in with an overall record of 1-4-0. They are winless against Hockomock League opponents. King Philip, meanwhile, as we mentioned, in first place in the Kelly Rex standings. They are 5-1 overall on the season. That one loss came in non-conference competition last week, but perfect so far against Kelly Rex opponents. Corner kick here coming in from the near side, and that is over the arms of Chloe Murdoch, but it sneaks around the outside of the cage. It's always tough when those balls come down just on the outside of the post. From up here in the press box, hard to tell if they make it in or not, but still a 1-0 King Philip lead. Milford trying to get Kyla Nashawati loose on the far side, as if this wasn't enough of an uphill battle for Milford against a team that routinely is making deep runs towards state championships. Milford is playing undermanned here today, as this shot comes in from long range over the net and out of play. Ava Baglione out of commission right now. We're unsure exactly when Ava will have an opportunity to get back out on the field. Right now she is in a walking boot on the right foot down on the sidelines. And Milford also without the services of some of their top defensive players as well, so needing other players to step up today if they're going to keep things close against KP. And a shot this time comes in from the far side, and that's going to scoot in for the second goal already of this half, and that is Heidi Lawrence. 36-26 on this first half scoreboard. It's already now a 2-0 deficit. conferring up in the booth, that may have also been Michaela Thompson with that goal. We'll take another look at it after the fact. But regardless, two quick ones here as KP comes out strong. And already back on the attack here as this ball comes in from the far sideline, looking for the header on the redirect, and that one went off the crossbar. Milford gets the clear at least as far as center, but KP now right back in. And now the ball in the hands of Chloe Murdoch, who will no doubt have her hands full throughout the duration of today's match. Now, we mentioned Heidi Lawrence, assuming she was the goal scorer there on that second shot. Would not be a surprise, as she right now coming into play today is the top scorer not only on this King Philip team, but in the Hockomock in general. Came into play this afternoon with 8 goals scored on the season. As this ball is blasted out of play. Murdoch again with the goal kick here that will come to a stop just shy of midfield. The sun coming out just in time to get this match underway after a series of dreary days, rainy throughout the weekend and into the start of this week, but fortunate to have some improving conditions here as this match goes along, though definitely a crispness in the air for this game today. Some at times breezy conditions, a cold breeze coming in as this ball gets blocked away, as that was Heidi Lawrence there on the outside trying to jam that one in. Toss in here for KP. Milford committing a couple of resources defensively over there in that area, but that's number 3, Danny Lamuschio, with the shot and the score. We're not 10 minutes in to this first half action quite yet, and KP already putting on a show. And a timeout on the field right now, after KP makes it an early 3-0 lead. Head coach Lou Colabello trying to find a way to change the momentum here early on before this game gets out of hand. So we'll take a quick pause on the broadcast here as well. Still in the early stages of this half, with Milford now trailing King Philip 3-0. Back in just a moment here on Milford TV. Not quite 7 minutes into this first half action and already a 3-0 score. King Philip with a couple of different goal scorers here right out of the gates, as Milford has yet to generate any real pressure on their attacking side. Milford hoping to attack from right to left across your screens here in this first half, but so far play has been dominated by the Warriors. You can see right now the freshman Kylan Ashawati trying to jam that ball through for an offensive chance for Milford, but quickly the defense has to retreat. And that ball pushed out of play. Again, we talked briefly to Coach Colabello prior to the game. Mentioned that he would be without the services of Ava Baglione for this game today, and also both Caitlin and Alexa Landry unavailable for this game as well. So again, impacts on both sides of the ball. KP lofting this one in. Once again, it was Michaela Thompson over in the vicinity. Now it's Lawrence who regroups at the edge of the box, trying to win a foot race. This ball comes in on a bounce, and Murdoch able to scoop it up. Dumped back in now by the KP defense. This is the first of back-to-back Milford versus King Philip battles that we'll have for you here on Milford TV. We'll be in the gym tomorrow evening for varsity girls volleyball action between these two schools. That ball knocked away. Nice defensive play that time for Milford. Corner kick chance coming up from the near side again for the Warriors. Kick past everything and goes out of play. Eilish McGowan on that corner kick for the Warriors. Coming into play today, 17 goals scored through 6 matches for KP, just 5 goals allowed. Milford, on the other hand, has scored just 5 times through their first 5 matches. They've allowed 16 goals. You can make it now 19 with the 3 that KP has scored so far today. So a goal differential that Milford will really need to tighten up as this season goes on. Last time out for Milford, a lopsided defeat on the road at Canton High School, in which they allowed 6 goals in a 6-1 loss. And it's been a tricky season, a tricky fall season overall for these Milford teams, and one that is about to get a lot more unpredictable in the next few weeks ahead. We'll get to more on that as Milford tries to get this ball out of harm's way. KP continues to keep pressure on. And now looped back out towards midfield. This will be the last sporting event that we see here on the Milford turf, at least for the next couple of weeks, as Milford continues to work on improvements here at the turf field complex. We obviously have the brand new field surface down, but work will begin starting tomorrow on installation of the new track to go around the field here. And so that will result in the Milford teams being displaced for the next couple of weeks, trying to turn some home games into road games to make those up on the back end of the season. But there will also be a handful of games played at athletic facilities over in Mendon. That's going to impact several matches coming up next week for both the boys and girls teams, and it may unfortunately impact our ability to cover some of those matches as well. We'll try to get to some more of those details as we do more of our due diligence. Here is Lawrence. Could not get an angle on a shot as that ball eventually goes out of play. And it'll be a goal kick. I beg your pardon, waiting for play to resume here. A corner kick from the far side. As the clock continues to wind down to 27 minutes and 24 seconds. That corner kick ends up in the vicinity of Lexi and Antonio for Milford. Not quite cleared out, and now out of play on the far side of the field. Again, possession has been almost exclusively with KP here for these first 13 minutes. It's good work there defensively by Kaylee Turtelot. And this time we will indeed have the Milford goal kick. King Philip once again under the direction of head coach Gary Pischel. King Philip coming off of a 2022 season where they went 14-5-1. They ended up coming just 1 point shy of taking a share of the Kelly Rex regular season title last year. They did eventually advance all the way to the round of 16, and Milford gets a big assist from the post on what looked to surely be goal number 4 of this half. It took a hop off the post and went right back into the arms of Chloe Murdoch, who was sprawled out. And so Milford fortunate to have the score still be where it stands at 3-0. 25.5 minutes still to go in this first half. Up the near sidelines, both teams giving chase, and a hard tumble out of play for the sophomore Grace Beagle. And we talk about the turf, the track not being installed yet. Beagle went down and skidded right onto that bare concrete surface out there, so could not have been a comfortable impact. Again, fortunate that the new track will be installed here in the coming days, and this facility will be fully updated now. Milford now on the move onto their attacking side, and Aaron Mickelson trying to send that ball ahead for a teammate, but it ends up going out of play. Quick end. The only game for Milford so far this season where they've been able to score more than just a single goal was in that 2-1 win that we covered against Hopedale. They scored single goals in each of their last 3 losses, a 4-1 loss against Attleboro on the 12th, a 2-1 loss to North Attleboro on the 19th, and then that aforementioned 6-1 loss against Canton their last time out. Milford had a match scheduled against Sharon a little over a week ago, but it ended up getting postponed to later in the season. All of those soccer matches across the board for both the boys and girls against Sharon getting rescheduled from that date. So the schedule's been a little tricky for this team, and injuries have not helped either to allow this group to settle into a groove. KP with a trio of players on the verge of checking into this game had to dance out of the way of that ball that came streaking out of play. 22-42 on the first half clock as Milford pushes this ball back onto the attacking side for Nashawati. Good pass to Paige Calden. And now Mickelson and Nashawati converge as this ball is sent over towards the far side and out of play. It will be a Milford toss-in. Lauren Obara, the sophomore, in net for this game for the King Philip Warriors. A pair of sophomores listed on the roster at the keeper position. Obara along with fellow sophomore Rory Bresson. Free kick awarded here for Milford. The junior Maya Santos will take it. Sailing over the King Philip net as now those three subs come onto the field on the Warriors side. Bill Wallace, part of the coaching staff for head coach Gary Pischel. Of course, we see Coach Wallace here in the spring for softball action as he has served as the head coach of the North Attleboro varsity softball team. Nashawati trying to make a play there, forcing KP to pass this ball back. Some good clean passes. As KP brings this ball back onto the attacking side. Addison Lamoth Vaughn trying to center that ball up, and that was Paige Calden taking some hard contact to deflect that ball out of play. This ball rolling free towards the far side. Milford able to get there defensively. The ball goes out of play for another corner kick. There's been a host of them for King Philip here in this half. Still a 3-0 score past the midway point in this first half. Over the reach of Murdoch, and that spins across the goal mouth and out of play. Struggling now to get this ball out. Here's Calden again up the near side, but KP presses on. Room now on the near side. Check in, Murdoch able to pick that ball up with no problem. He now navigates through traffic, pushes back to Lamoth Vaughn, skies this ball up over the net and out of play. As Milford will bring a substitution onto the field, bringing sophomore Chloe Pierce out with 18 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in this first half. This KP girls soccer program has been operating at an elite level for a very long time. It has become routine to see the top scorers in the league wearing the King Philip colors, and that's the same situation this season as well with right now Heidi Lawrence, the senior, currently leading those Hockomock League statistics. Of course, the leading scorers for girls soccer in the Hawk right now, littered with King Philip players. Michaela Thompson, who has scored 2 of the goals here this afternoon, that ups her season total to 5. Daniela Muschio now with 3 goals after scoring earlier in this half, as KP generates a quick offensive chance there. The ball goes wide to the near side. And also Eilish McGowan has a couple of goals and an assist for King Philip as well. Can't wrestle that ball loose. King Philip now through a couple of defenders, sends a shot on net. Murdoch able to get the hands on it, and then it glances off the crossbar and up and out of play. So we'll have another KP corner kick coming up here. Murdoch doing the best she can to try to keep these shots in front of her. Muschio over to take the corner kick. Takes a hop over towards the near corner. Milford able to softly push it up the near sideline, and now a more emphatic clear. Ball comes out of play. Milford will toss it a little bit shy of midfield. Over in the direction of Nashawati, but deflected away by the Warriors. Knocked down on a nice play by Chloe Pierce. KP taking their time, letting their personnel get set for a quick shot released by Muschio that goes over the net and out of play. So KP continues to get shots with regularity and scored their first 3 in the first 7 minutes of this half. They've had some chances since, but the score has stayed the same. Grace Beagle about to check back into this game. Passing impressive to watch for KP, very clean. Again, 5 victories so far on the season, with just the 1 loss mixed in there against a tough Hingham team that came last week, and then immediately the Warriors able to get back on track with a 2-0 shutout win against Foxborough. Back through the middle, an opening here, and the save is made by Murdoch. Taking down towards 13 minutes to play here, as this one is sent forward off the foot of Paige Calden, but all the way down, and one of the first times we've seen the ball in the hands of the KP keeper, as Obara hauls this one in and will now send it back upfield. Pushed back in at midfield by the Hawks. Nashawati there. One-on-one against Michaela Thompson. The ball goes out off of Nashawati. Nashawati unable to make a move around her defender. Olivia Baglione with a nice play there moments ago. Now Calden can't control. Pressure stepping up there for Milford, forcing this ball back to the King Philip defense. Too far out in front with Nashawati there in the vicinity. Milford trying to make adjustments here as the half goes along. Under 12 minutes now until we reach the intermission. Called in again now. That ball went out of play. Off of Sarah Glasser, a junior for the Warriors. Cool breeze continues to blow around the playing surface here as we get deeper into this match. Sends that towards the center of the field, and Mickelson pushes it ahead, but no one home except the King Philip D. The far sideline pushed out by Beagle. KP cutting up through the middle. This ball taking a roll towards the far corner. Up at the edge of the box now. Milford trying to push it out, and it's lobbed back in over the net and out of play. KP right now with both Michaela Thompson and Heidi Lawrence on the sideline, so the top two scorers getting a rest here later on in this half for KP. Milford can't keep that ball in play. Substitution before the toss in as Emma Howie comes out onto the field. Milford trying to get a look here. They send a one-hop shot in towards net. That's picked up by Obara. Up ahead for King Philip's Neela Caruso. This ball goes through and out of play. Goal kick taken by Caitlin Kernan. Drives it up towards the far sideline. This ball up ahead. Nashawati now trying to use her speed. Pushes it towards the corner, gets knocked down, and that ball goes out of play. Will stay Milford ball. And again, Nashawati takes some contact as she fights for that ball towards the goal line. A little trickier now with the red end zones to be able to see that goal line. The yellow lines out there on the turf representing the marks for soccer. Nashawati again battling. Coach Colabello continues to have a lot of praise for Kyla Nashawati, her coachability, her athleticism as just a freshman learning at the varsity level. She is now with a little bit of space, a couple of defenders now closing in, and again, she loses her footing. Milford now has to guide that ball out of play. Certainly it makes a big difference having a counterpart to Nashawati up on the offensive side, and typically that would be Ava Baglione, but again, out of the mix right now due to injury. And now Milford gets a one-handed stop by Chloe Murdoch. That ball glances off the side of the net and out of play, and we will have another goal kick opportunity here for the Warriors. Looks to be number 19, Neela Caruso, ranging out for the corner kick. Down to 5 minutes to go as this ball glances off of Murdoch's hands, and now able to get back in to put a stop to that chance. Milford had a couple of defenders positioned well to keep that ball from going in after the initial miss from Murdoch. Beg your pardon, Milford there with a brief numbers advantage. King Philip able to navigate the ball back upfield. Clock right now paused with now less than 5 minutes to go in this first half. Another hard shot. Ball might have gotten a piece of the post and also a piece of the midsection of Murdoch, but she looks to be okay. Milford able to head that ball out of danger. That was one of the captains, Kate Pellegrini, there making the play. Contact. Quick move from Maya Santos to get back to her feet. Milford letting that ball go for the goal kick. Phillip continues to control. 3 players at the edge of the box. This shot comes in wide to the near side. Plenty of confidence across this King Phillip roster. Continuing to fire shots away towards the Milford net, but it remains a 3-0 score. That's where it's been since 7 minutes in to this first half. Kernan clears this ball out to center, but it's immediately dumped back in. Now Pellegrini. Back to Kernan, who tries to chase this ball down in the corner. Sends it up the far sideline, but can't keep it in play. Now this ball up for grabs and smothered by Murdoch. Toss in here for Milford with time winding down in the first half, waiting for the whistle down below. Santos wins this ball, pushed along by Emma Howie. Now King Phillip back on the advance, coming from the far sideline, across the middle, guided back out for the moment by Milford. Now here's Mickelson. She leaves the ball behind. This ball getting past one layer of defense, but Kernan able to clear it out. And now a very hard ricochet. And that should do it here for the first half, as Howie ended up taking a very hard ricochet, dropped briefly down to a knee, but looks to be okay. A bruising first half for Milford as they allow 3 early goals to the King Phillip Warriors. A pair of them credited to Michaela Thompson, also Danny Lamuschio with a goal as well. So 3-0. Milford will look to continue to make adjustments as this game goes on, as they face a very tough opponent here this afternoon. We will pause for halftime. So if you're joining us on the live coverage, hang tight for about the next 6.5 minutes, and then we'll be back with second half coverage here on Milford TV. Back inside the turf field here in Milford, about to begin the second half in this varsity girls soccer matchup between your Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting King Phillip Warriors. KP struck for 3 early goals in the first half to take control of this one. That is the score as we begin the second half. Milford now looking to attack from left to right across your screens here in second half action. Did not have many looks on the KP net throughout that first half. And goal scorers for KP in the first half: Michaela Thompson with 2, and Danny Lamuschio with 1. And if you're just joining the coverage, Milford playing without the services of one of their top offensive weapons in Ava Baglione, as she is out with injury. Also thin on the defensive line as well, with Alexa and Caitlin Landry out of the mix. Early corner kick chance here for King Philip. The corner chances came with regularity throughout that first half for the Warriors. Right now, the top two scorers in this KP lineup, Heidi Lawrence and Michaela Thompson, back out on the field to start the second half. They sat for a good portion of the first half as this ball comes in off the foot of Lamuschio, but out of play. Driven out in the direction of Chloe Pierce, but controlled once again by the Warriors. Eilish McGowan now in with it, feeds it to the near sideline. Good speed for Allison Smith, who closed in. Now centering this up for the header chance for Heidi Lawrence, but that went up over and out of play. Still controlling towards the near sideline. That ball kept in by Smith. Smith, with a lot of open room, will fire a shot that was well wide to the far side. Looking back on the final standings for girls soccer from last season, we talked about it. King Philip fell 1 point shy of sharing the Kelly Rex title with Franklin. KP finishing the year overall at 14-5-1. Franklin finished at 15-4-1 with 27 points to KP's 26. Milford finishing last season at 4-12-2. Milford trying to clear this ball out along the far sideline. Now it's Kernan. She sends it ahead. Kept in by the Warriors. .35 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock here in the second half. This ball squirting back out close to center, but still under the control of the Warriors. Corner kick again from the far side of the field. In and out of the hands of Murdoch, but she stays with it, now able to secure. This ball knocked away. A quick chance developing there for Eilish McGowan. She gets it back, drifts this ball in. It took a hop on target towards the net, but Murdoch He's able to hold good positioning. Nashawati circling that ball around the midfield, trying to gain possession for the Hawks. Now Thompson pushes ahead for KP. Taliaseri battling there. Well over double digits now in corner kick chances for this KP squad. We'll try to sift through some of the upcoming schedule upheaval that these Milford teams will be dealing with as the second half goes on. Again, if you happen to just be tuning in, this is the final game that will be played here on the Milford turf for any of the fall teams until the new track is fully installed and ready to go. And so as a result, a lot of the original schedule released at the start of this season has been turned on its head. All of the soccer matches that were scheduled for Monday, October 2nd against Taunton will all be played on the road. That was the first decision to be made due to this project. So all of the boys and girls soccer matches at both the varsity and JV level will all be played in Taunton coming up on Monday. That'll end up resulting in a Taunton boys-girls doubleheader here on the Milford turf later in the month of October. There's also a number of games that will now be taking place up in Mendon at the NEFC Sports Complex in Mendon, located at 33 Cape Road. That includes games this Friday against Mansfield for this girls team. Also Wednesday, October 4th, the Milford boys will host the Stoughton Black Knights on the turf over in Mendon. And then next Friday, or a week from this Friday, on October 6th, boys soccer team will play the Franklin Panthers at the NEFC complex in Mendon as well. And then Milford hoping to have use of their track again after that, as King Philip generates another scoring opportunity. That looked to be Lamuschio with eyes on her second goal of this match, but Murdoch able to make the save. We're about 10 minutes into the second half action as Milford lobs this ball ahead. Here is Nashawati trying to get a piece. The keeper all the way outside of the box. The ball ends up out of play towards the near side, and the officials now are going to confer. So the Milford fans wanting a foul called against King Philip, and you can see by the exasperated reaction from Coach Colabello that that is not what we'll see. So instead, just a toss in from the Milford sideline, and the ball quickly swatted out of play. Trying to win this ball back. Good tenacious play throughout this game today out of Chloe Pierce. She's been in the action quite a bit, doing all she can. This ball fed up ahead. Paige Calden with a full head of steam. KP able to get there first to punch the ball out of play. Calden with the toss in over the reach of Nashawati. And now here's Pierce again. Like she was trying to flick that ball back towards Calden. It ends up out of play. Last touched by the Warriors. Olivia Baglione trying to move that ball ahead. But King Philip quick to intercept, and now here is Heidi Lawrence. Defense scrambling to get back. This ball swatted away by Murdoch. Lawrence still involved in the play. Now up ahead to Lamuschio, who sends it off the crossbar, and a hard ricochet back out towards the far side of the field. Well, Milford had to scramble to get back as King Philip turned that into a very quick offensive chance. Milford cutting down the angle for Lawrence. Lamuschio with a good shot towards net, but off the crossbar, and it stays 3-0. Milford no doubt frustrated with how this game began. The first goal was scored just 57 seconds into the first half, and a shot that was not all that tricky of a shot, and certainly one that I'm sure Chloe Murdoch would herself say she really should have saved. But it snuck in for the first goal of the game. And about 3.5 minutes later, Thompson with a second scoring opportunity that she capitalized on, and then Lamuschio scoring the third and final goal of that first half. And almost exactly 7 minutes in, and that's where the score has stayed ever since. Substitution here for Milford as Emma Howie checks back into the game. She took that hard ricochet right at the end of the first half. Good to see her back out on the field. And now this ball in tight, but held on to by Murdoch. I believe the cowbell that we've been hearing throughout the matches amongst the King Philip fans that traveled out to take in some road action for their King Philip Warriors team this afternoon. Just under 26 minutes to play in the second half. Battle along the far sidelines. King Philip comes away. Lamuschio has that taken away. And now King Philip with room. Murdoch able to make the stop. The ball goes out of play, and so again, it will be a corner kick for the Warriors. Murdoch way out from in front of the net to swat that ball away. Not cleared out as of yet. KP looking for the turnaround chance, and that one is lifted up over the crossbar by a one-handed save from Chloe Murdoch. So Murdoch making some high difficulty saves in this last sequence. Not out of danger yet as KP looks for the quick redirect. That was perfectly executed. Low line drive kick from the corner. Lemuskio right there at the near post, headed it past Murdoch. Nothing Chloe could do that time. So it's the second goal of the match for Danny Lemuskio, and King Philip now will take a 4-0 lead with 24:03 to play. Milford had certainly done well to slow the progress of this offense after that hot start. After a couple of corner kicks in quick succession, King Philip able to grab their fourth score. And we alluded to it early in the broadcast, but the final scores in these head-to-head meetings with King Philip have not been kind. In the previous 6 head-to-head meetings between these two programs, King Philip has outscored Milford by a combined margin of 34-4. That included a pair of regular season meetings last season in which King Philip defeated Milford on their home field by a final score of 9-1. And then later on in the season came here to the Milford turf and defeated the Scarlet Hawks by a final score of 7-0. Heidi Lawrence had a hat trick in that matchup, as here we get another corner kick chance and another score. Through traffic, that looked to be number 5, Addison Lamoth Vaughn. Less than 2 minutes separating those last 2 goals. So that ups it to a 5-0 score, and right now KP looking like this offense is starting to heat back up again. Quick pause in the action here, as it looks like we have the Scarlet Hawks player shaken up, the training staff heading out onto the field. So an injury timeout with 21 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the second half. KP now on top of Milford 5-0 here on Milford TV. Kaylee Turtelot shaken up on that last play for Milford as we have another corner kick here. And that is up over the net. So this time, Milford able to escape without another goal on the scoreboard, as the last couple of corner kick chances have helped increase the KP lead now to 5-0 with still 21 minutes to play in the second half. Again, Turtelot able to get to the sideline under her own power and now being looked at on the trainer's cart. The second half has played out almost exclusively on the Warriors' attacking side of the field. It's been a relentless effort for this Warriors team this afternoon, and now sending this ball in. It's directed away at first by Calden. Eventually the shot comes in and it's stopped by Murdoch. Calden now lets this ball roll up the near sideline. It eventually goes out of play. Shawati a step or two too late to get to that one. Corner, it is Lawrence. Quick redirect chance is knocked away by Milford. Now dumped back in from deep by KP's Bridget Scott. And again, it comes in this time off target and out of play. So in terms of our Milford TV coverage for the next couple of weeks, things are a little bit left in limbo due to the current state of things with the track project. We had planned on being present for those boys soccer games against Stoughton and Franklin that were scheduled as home games for October 4th and October 6th, but with those games moved to the complex in Mendon, done some initial recon over there. No press box facilities and no easy ability for our crew to set up, so I'm not sure if our coverage is going to be able to proceed over at that Mendon complex. So we'll put out an updated schedule if we have to make some adjustments here. Certainly hate to lose out on opportunities for coverage, but difficult to be able to get our crew over there to that alternate site in Mendon. But we'll have some more information available on social media as soon as we have an updated fall sports schedule. We're also hopeful that things will be resolved here at the turf field in time for the football team's next home game, which is scheduled for Thursday, October 12th against Lowell. The football team winning a defensive battle against the Natick Redhawks here on the turf last Friday night. Our first chance to see the football team at home. If you're looking to watch that game, if you missed it, or if you want to just take a second look, it is available for streaming on our YouTube page. We'll have it up for playback on our educational channel and our HD channel as well. Watching that ball drift wide to the near side of the net. Looks like KP has made a change at their keeper position, so I would venture to guess that it is now Rory Bresson out for the Warriors. For the time being, the majority of the starters still out there for KP. With one of her best kicks of the day. Milford sends this ball forward. Nashawati trying to catch up. Sent off and out of play off the foot of Rihanna Mason. Now dumped in towards the box. Kaylee Turlott back out there on the field, so getting some quick treatment from the training staff and back out, showing good toughness. Corner kick opportunity for Milford. Coming in from the far side. A lot of shadows on this side of the field now. Goal kick here for KP. Just about 14.5 minutes to go. 3 goals in the first half for the Warriors, 2 here in the second. Multiple goals for Michaela Thompson, for Danny Lamuschio. And a chance here for the leading goal scorer for this KP squad, Emma Lawrence, and she shoots that one past Chloe Murdoch and makes it a half a dozen goals now for the Warriors. Thought Lawrence had scored in the first half. This time she gets on the score sheet. She scores her 9th of the season to make this a 6-0 King Philip advantage. Murdoch in to scoop this ball up. So again, Lawrence with her 9th goal scored of the season, which should keep her ahead of Michaela Costello of Canton, who came in to today with 7 goals scored. Michaela Thompson continuing to creep up the leading scorers as well. With 2 goals this afternoon, it ups her total on the season to 5. Danny Lamuschio now with 4 goals on the season. So this KP team showing that they've got a lot of firepower out there on the field, a lot of players capable of getting the ball in the back of the net as they try to set Lawrence up for another opportunity. Michaela Thompson right now on the sideline, but Lawrence still out there, at least for the moment, with just under 12 minutes remaining. Still bright sunshine on this side of the field as KP sets up for the corner kick. You can see from the flag there at that corner that the wind is swirling a bit. Knocked away by Pellegrini, only to set up for another corner chance. But first, Coach Pischel will take the opportunity to send in a couple of more subs, and this will bring Lawrence and Lemuschio to the sidelines. KP with Brianna Mason trying to redirect that ball in at the far post, but it was out of her reach. Sent back towards center. Mickelson trying to settle it down. Drifts a pass over to the far side of the field for Antonio. It'll be a corner kick now for the Scarlet Hawks. Less than 10 minutes remaining in the second half. KP closing in on their 6th victory of the season. Milford, barring a dramatic comeback, will see their losing streak stretch to 4. Trying to avoid the shutout. They've only been shut out once this season in their season debut. It was a 3-0 loss against Foxborough. Another chance from the corner. This time it's Aaron Mickelson. Ashawati trying to redirect in, but loops that over the net. Santos battling there at midfield, but KP now advancing. Well, took a strange hop. Turtelot now able to turn it upfield. Ashawati accelerating. Brianna Mason gets there just a step before to deflect out of play. Now Olivia Baglione with the toss in. Towards 7.5 minutes to play. Hard work for Maya Santos. KP gets loose on the near sideline, and Caitlin Kernan has to come in and deliver it out of play. Kernan can't get the clear, and now players in deep for KP. Contact inside the box. Milford deflecting this ball ahead. Takes a hop off of Nashawati's foot. Now Pellegrini racing back. The shot comes from the far sidelines and is held on to by Chloe Murdoch. Grace Beagle and Amelia Maloney now about to check into the game for the Hawks. Tossin finding Nashawati. Another Milford toss in as we approach the 5-minute mark. Fresh into the game, trying to get into the play there, but the ball comes back towards midfield. Another toss in for the Hawks as the game clock is now frozen. Nashawati with a shot, and the stop made by Rory Bresson. One of the few shots on goal that Milford has had in this game. Kernan tracking this ball back and sends it on a line over the KP bench. The coaching staff ducking out of the way. So certainly a tough one for the Scarlet Hawks this afternoon. They will look to regroup and certainly hope to get healthy as they get deeper into the season. It's going to be a challenge in the next couple of weeks to get practice time in with the turf out of commission, but this team with some work to do with this young core trying to get better each and every day to contend in this tough Hockomock League. One hop shot in towards net, stopped by Murdoch. So again, we believe that the girls' game coming up this Friday against Mansfield is going to be played at that complex in Mendon. Then their game on October 2nd was switched to a road game at Taunton. And they were scheduled for 2 road games after that, at Stoughton and at Franklin. So we expect that the next time we'll see this girls team here on the Milford turf will be on October 9th for their makeup game against Sharon. Hoping that the facility will be ready by then. That will touch off a stretch of 4 straight games, I beg your pardon, 3 straight games here at home for the girls against Sharon, Oliver Ames, and Attleboro. As we wind things down here, a goal kick for the Warriors. Picked up over the middle by Maloney. Ashawati just could not get around Addison Lamoth Vaughn. Turlock in the middle of the action. Baglione sending that ball into the box, but KP there for the easy clear. Kernan now across the middle, but there is your final whistle. And so again, a tough one here for Milford this afternoon, facing off against a team with a distinguished playoff pedigree and some serious offensive firepower. And KP comes to town. They deliver Milford a 6-0 defeat. So an outstanding effort for the KP girls this afternoon. And so with the victory, King Philip will improve to 6-1 overall on the season. With the loss, Milford falls to 1-5-0 overall on the year and extend their losing streak now to 4 straight. So that will wrap things up on the coverage here for this afternoon. We will be back in action with more Milford High School athletics coverage tomorrow evening, as we'll be in the gym for girls varsity volleyball as Milford plays host to their King Philip counterparts. So we expect that coverage to begin around 5:15 tomorrow evening. You can check it out live streaming on YouTube. We also hope to have that coverage live on our channels for you as well. And so that's when you can tune in next. But that's going to wrap things up for today. A big thank you to Patrick Garapi manning the cameras up on top of the press box. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, 6-0, the victory for King Philip over Milford. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.